The Breville, I should have actually explained this at the start of this vlog. As a former chef, you think I would learn how to read a scale properly. Wow, that does work. I am really heavy-handed today. Hey team, welcome to today's video. It is Monday and I've got something a little different. We are going to do a review today, but like I just said, it is something a little different. We're going to be reviewing a bread maker. It is a Breville machine. Before I get in, this is not sponsored, so it's 100% my opinion on the bread making machine by Breville. Because I've been in isolation, much like everyone else across the globe, what I have noticed and what I've obviously have noticed before because I have to pay for it, I'm gluten-free when it comes to bread and pasta, etc. If you aren't gluten-free, let me just give you a little bit of a lowdown. When you buy a loaf of gluten-free bread, it's around $7 a loaf, which is very, very expensive when you do the sums and you add it all up for around a 2-week period. I go through bread because I eat toast every morning, and not only is it $7 a loaf, I'm going off in a tangent, I know, but you don't get as many slices in a gluten-free loaf as what you would get in a non-gluten-free loaf. So not only is it $7, but you go through it quickly. So Adam actually brought this up with me. He was like, why don't you get a bread maker? He's been pushing for it for a while, and I'd been like pushing back against it, but I caved and I went and got myself one. So that's what we're going to do today. Before I dive into opening the box and then doing our ingredients list and all of that stuff, if you're brand new here, my name's Hayden. I'm a group exercise instructor. I usually post twice a week. All that spiel, subscribe, ring the bell, yada yada. Okay, so I've had this for around a week now, just sitting here waiting for me to film this. And I thought today's the day. It's a nice quiet day. It's in the lead up to winter. What better than to have some fresh bread around your home? We all love that smell, right? So the moment you open the box, we've got this on the inside waiting for you. We've got the manual right at the top. Now, who actually reads manuals? I know we all should, and I know I should read a manual, because if you've all witnessed before, well, if you are a returning team member, you've witnessed before on my channel me purchasing various new items and machines and what have you, and not reading the manual, and then going back to read the manual and being like, yeah, this actually taught me how to use the thing. I've wasted so much time. So in our manual, we've got the standard information. Inside the information, it breaks down the things that are supposed to be in, so the items that make up this machine that are supposed to be in this box. It lists from A to K. We've got a fruit and nut dispenser, viewing window, detachable lid, control panel, main housing, base, bread pan, kneading blade, measuring spoon, measuring cup, and kneading blade hook. Okay, and then on the other side, it's got the control panel, what it looks like. We've got an auto menu. We've got listed 1 to 12, basic, French, whole wheat, sweet, express 680 grams, express 900 grams, yeast-free, continental, dough, gluten-free, jam and bake. Now I'm going to be doing gluten-free, so I will be using number 10 setting. We can also control crust color, loaf size, gluten-free setting, press to go directly to the gluten-free bread function. There's timers, and you can start and cancel at any time. We're going to pull this out of the box. As you remove the foam protectors on both sides, we've got the machine wrapped in plastic. It's actually a little bit bigger than what I expected it to be. My mum had one as a kid, and when I was a kid my mum had one, and I don't remember it being this large. I mean, that was quite a few years ago. You would think that it would downsize over time. Alright, we're breaking into the actual machine itself, taking away all of this protective plastic. This is what it looks like on the top. That's how large it is in comparison to my head. Don't you just love things fresh out of the box, that new smell, it doesn't matter what it is, it always has that distinctive new smell. It's probably got a lot to do with the packaging because majority of things are packaged in the same items, foam and plastic. Right, as we open it up, we've got some more cardboard on the inside. I can see the measuring utensils are inside as well. Right on the very inside, we have the measuring cup. You've got what I believe are it's a double-ended measuring spoon. And then inside of that is the kneading dough blade and hook, which will come in handy because the recipe on the gluten-free flour the gluten-free bread mix that Adam got me states that I need to knead it on a chopping board, which I shall not be doing if this does it for me. Also inside we have the nut dispenser, fruit and nut dispenser. You can see that's exactly what it is because it comes with little pictures of fruit and nuts just on the inside of the plastic coating. Now I don't believe I'm going to be using this. I'm not a big fruit and nut loaf fan, so this may not ever be used. We'll just sit that aside for now. However, this is what it looks like on the inside without anything in it. It is quite deep. It won't give the same length of a normal loaf that you would buy in the supermarket for a non-gluten-free loaf is what I should say. But for the size of the pan, for the size of the bucket, you are going to get something that's around this big, but quite deep. Okay, before first use, it says remove and safely discard any packing material, which I've already done. Promotional labels tape from the bread maker, make sure it's all off. Check for any missing or damaged parts. Nothing is missing. It's everything that was listed in the little item list is here. And I don't believe anything is damaged. It all looks very clean and new. Operating your Breville Bread Maker. Open the lid of the bread maker and remove the bread pan using the handle. Is there a handle? Open the lid of the bread maker and remove the bread pan by using the handle. Okay, well I'm trying to remove the bread pan and it's not coming in. Am I doing something wrong? I mean, okay. Okay, well I see a little flaw in their instructions. This is the bread pan, here's the handle. Do you see this on the bottom? On the inside of the machine, at the bottom, see that little blade hook thing? The base of the bread pan was locked into that, but the instructions they don't say that you need to quarter twist the bread pan in order to unlock it or unclasp it to lift it out. All it says is, open the lid of the bread maker and remove the bread pan using the handle. And then it goes on to making sure that you align the kneading blade in the bottom if you want to make bread. You can see number 1 right there, where it says what I just read out. It doesn't say anything about quarter twist to lift it out. So that could have saved me a little bit of confusion. Okay, interesting. Everything gets mixed inside. So I don't need to do anything, I just put this stuff in. Okay, well that saves me some mess. Why don't we get into making some bread? Here we have the bread mix that Adam got me. We'll be utilizing this today, popping her in here. Now you can see on here that there is a gluten-free option. I don't actually have to do anything extra now. All you got to do is, if you're gluten-free like me, you just press this button and it is ready to go. Once you put your ingredients inside, you press the little start button. Let's get them prepared. Okay, well I've got my measuring scales right in front of me. I've got my bowls and I've got my measuring utensils ready to go. It states on the back of the recipe for the bread, I require, this is for 1 loaf, I require 330 grams of the bread mix, 6 grams of dry yeast, 5 to 6 mils of white or cider vinegar, and I've got apple cider vinegar, 5 to 6 mils of any kind of oil that you want to use. I'll use olive oil. And 450 mils of warm water. Let's measure it out. I have my bowl sitting on top of the scales, ready to be measured. I don't believe I have to sift it. Gosh, 330 grams seems like a lot. Okay, I just discovered I had it on the wrong unit of measure. As a former chef, you think I would learn how to read a scale properly. Instead of 330 grams, I've got 526 grams. Don't think that's gonna do. Okay, I'm sitting at 334 grams. I think 4 additional grams is gonna be okay. Though I'm hoping it's going to be okay. Got my flour, bread mix, ready to go. And next up on the list, 6 grams of dry active yeast. I've reset the scales on gram, so hopefully we're ready to get this right. Here is the yeast I will be using today. It is Low and Whole Foods instant dried yeast, and it is active, unsealed. All we need is 6 grams. 6 grams of yeast. Next up is 6 mils of cider vinegar or white vinegar. So these are the scales that I'm using. These are I've had these since I was a active commercial chef many years ago. And I actually only just realized that I can change the unit of measure where it says unit there. And I've had these forever. So I can put it on mils, grab this out, even though this one's got it on the cup itself. But I just want to see if this works. Restart, put it back to 0. So I'm just looking for 6 mils and I've got it on the milliliter setting. Wow, that does work. I mean, why wouldn't it not? Last ingredient to add, second last, is 5 mils of oil and then 450 mils of warm water. Resetting the scales, replacing an empty container. Let's measure the oil. I am really heavy-handed today. There we go, ready to go. Last ingredient, 450 mils of warm water. And here we have our 450 mils of warm water. Now that we've got all of our ingredients, it is time to start layering them into the bread maker. Now it does have a little diagram right here. Hopefully it's going to, there we go. It tells you step by step. So we put our liquids, then our dries, our etc. and then the yeast on top. I've already got the blade inside, ready to go. It's already preset on the program that I'm wanting it to be on, which is the gluten-free. Let's go. Starting with our liquids. Water is going in. Apple cider vinegar. There is our oil. Dry ingredients. Now this is the only dry ingredients other than the yeast. There we go. Lastly, yeast. And there it is. Am I supposed to scrape that out? You know what, I will just do that. Okay, now that we've got all of our ingredients into the bread maker, it states in here to, and it's not gonna focus for me, fold the lid down and if you require, put any fruit and nuts, which we're not gonna do, and then start the machine. So here we go. There's the nut and fruit dispenser that I shan't be using. Start. You can see it's preheating. I hope it's going to mix because it kind of needs to knead it. Guess I'll see you in 2.45 hours. I think we've got some kneading action in here. It's just finished heating up and now it's kneading. I was a little bit concerned that I've had to use my iPhone for this because I've plugged in the other camera, my Canon. I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to knead or that I was supposed to, you know, pre-knead it, but it turns out I'm just a worrywart. 23 minutes is all we've got left. You can see it's touching the glass display or the view panel thing. We're almost there, and my gosh, it smells amazing. Well, the timer has gone off. It's currently warming, but we have ourselves a gluten-free loaf of bread. What I don't enjoy is this top part seems a little undercooked because it was touching the glass frame. I guess I'm not going to know until I get it out and cut it to see if it's actually done. Well, this is what it looks like fresh out. It is quite large in my hand, as you can see. The paddle is still inside, so I have to be careful of that when I'm cutting. But so far, so good. I mean, I would have liked it to be a little bit more done on top. Well, it's time to test. Hopefully it's cooked through. Oh, look at that stain. And there we have my homemade gluten-free loaf of bread. Here we go. That is good. That is very, very tasty. Very good. Fluffy, but the crust is crunchy. It's light. You know what? Considering the only, I guess, negative was the instructions weren't very clear getting the bread pan out. 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I get this afterwards, and you don't actually require a whole deal of work. The Breville, I should have actually explained this at the start of this vlog. I purchased the machine for just under $200, I believe it was. For that amount of money and to have an endless supply of gluten-free bread on hand and not have to pay $7 a pop, I recommend. Thanks for watching, team. Make sure you do the fun stuff, but most importantly, keep watching.